All right, let's hold on a second. All right, let me know if I am live. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. All right, how's that right there? Looks like audio's good. This is okay. It's my second scene. In case anybody wants to see some docket stuff. Live. Adjust the camera a little bit. All right, how's that right there? All right. Just trying to get things set up right here. So, hey, I just wanted to go live because it's easier than making and editing a video. If anybody chimes in here, let me know if the chat is working. If the audio is working. And how does that sound? Looks like it's pretty good. All right, hey, it's been a wicked busy week in the Northeast running these dumpsters. This is easily my best month yet. August. This whole year has just been getting better and better and better. And I put off growing or scaling my business and getting more dumpsters. So finally, yesterday we went and bought another one. We're up to 6. I planned on being at 10 or 15 by this time this year. And it just didn't work out. So it is what it is. But let's talk about what kind of forced me to go buy that one. It was really spur of the moment. I keep wanting to drink my microphone. Like I'm reaching for it like it's a drink. And it in fact is not a drink. Oh, maybe I have to sign into my chat. I don't know. Give me a second. What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. I've got this all messed up now. Oh, yeah, great. I thought I was going to be doing good. All right, I'll just do the chat from my phone. How's that? All right, we got 2 people on. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Drop down in the chat and let me know if this is not working out right the way I had hoped. All right, so anyway, yeah, we decided to run down about 2 hours south of us and buy a new dumpster yesterday. And the reason being is because we were sold out pretty solid. We had the money stashed away for it. And we got a call from one of our good roofing customers that needed one on Saturday morning. We were going to take the whole weekend off, and we ended up not taking the weekend off. So we just, we just jumped on it, did our deliveries and pickups for the day, and then ran down 2 hours south, picked up a new Swap Hog dumpster, and headed her back, and I delivered it this morning. So yeah, keep wanting to drink that microphone. All right, nobody in the chat yet. So let's talk about financing. I had an idea that I was talking with somebody the other day, and they were talking about financing for equipment and whatever like that. And there's some pretty good deals out there. And if you need financing, I'm not here to tell you that you're wrong for financing your equipment. However, some people have the notion that, and it is a correct idea, that using somebody else's money to scale your business faster, it is good. It is using somebody else's money. It doesn't tie up your cash. However, I like to buy it outright. If I'm going to grow 5 cans next year or the rest of this year, I'm going to buy those outright, maybe one at a time, two at a time, whatever I can afford to do, because then I don't have to pay on them. I don't have to worry about them sitting over the winter. They can sit, and I don't have to pay anybody for them. So, and the other part of that equation is interest. Let's say it's 10% interest. Do I want to give 10% to somebody else just for letting me borrow their money? It is a really good idea the way Clayton does it with the 0% interest card. A little risky. I don't have the discipline to do that, and that's why I didn't. So I bought my first can when we switched over to the Switch and Go. I bought my first can on a credit card, 0%, and I'm still paying on it. I might have bought two cans that way. I don't remember. I think I might have the chat up on the. Let's select the channel. Select the channel. I'm really horrible at this live stuff, but you know what? It's so much easier than coming up with an idea that I think people might be interested in, shooting that video, editing it, and all of that. If I can just, talk to a camera for a little bit and get a chat going, get some communication going, we could figure out what would actually interest you guys and just start from there. So anyway, I was talking about, financing and using your own money or organic growth. That's what that's called. It's just scaling your business organically. With the cash that you save ahead. It's a lot slower, but I think that in the long run, it's going to work out a little bit better because, like I said before, I'm going to own them. This winter, if they set, because Maine, wintertime, we are dead. We're not very busy at all. So I need to make a truck payment. Do I want to make payments on other equipment, dumpsters? I would, if they just sit there, they're not costing me any money. If I finance them, of course they would be. Obviously. So, nobody in the chat yet. Got a couple of viewers, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy. So, how do you do it? Do you leverage somebody else's money? Maybe you're leveraging your own money, but you're using equity in real estate or whatever. Just kind of share what you're comfortable sharing, and let me know how you finance your very small dumpster company. If your family handed you $1 million to start it, cheers. Good for you. That is not how mine did. While we wait, or while we see if anybody comes into the chat here, let me show you what my August looked like. That's my schedule for August. Let's see if I can clean that up some. Let's just compress it. Okay, that is what my August looks like. I was pretty busy. The blue ones are drop off, the red ones are pickups, green ones are swaps. I don't do swaps very often. you can see I'm relatively busy Mondays and Fridays, and a little bit during the week. I typically, what did I work this week? 21 hours I worked this week, and that included the 4 hours of driving yesterday to pick up the new can. So if I look at last week, yeah, 22 hours. I'm usually done by noontime. I try to start around 7 or 8. Done by noon. So. Oh, Dirty Boys, you're in Glenburn, huh? Now, I'm going to assume that that's Glenburn, Maine, just because I don't know any other Glenburns. That's awesome. I don't think that I've met anybody. I didn't know anybody local actually subscribed to this channel. Really don't have a whole lot of subscribers at all. But Dirty Boys, how long you been doing this? How long you been in the junk removal game? All right, I get all your dumpster requests. That's awesome, dude. It just look me up on Facebook and send me your information. I get a ton of. I don't do junk removal anymore, and I'm always looking for somebody to hand that business off to. I was doing it. Want It Gone, I think, is who I typically tell people just Google them. But yeah, if we can get something going, if you're sending dumpsters my way, I'll certainly send junk removal your way, and I get a lot of it, a ton. But and demolition, I get a ton of shed demolitions, building demolitions, small garages and stuff. Yeah, they're. So my wife, so Dirty Boy says very little junk removal the last 2 years. So many new companies around Bangor now. Yeah, there's up here we don't see a lot of bandit signs, a lot of signs on the side of the road. In the last 3 months, 6 months maybe, we have gotten a ton. And it's just junk removal. It'll be black and white sign, junk removal, here's a phone number. Sometimes it's a business name. You got to at least respect those guys, right? They're at least putting their name out there. But there's a ton, and that's why we don't do junk removal anymore. I had a minimum when I was doing junk removal of $100. If I picked up a stick for my neighbor, it's $100. So obviously people aren't going to go for that because it's expensive. If it's close by, if it's a very small item. However, my expenses, insurance and fuel and all of that stuff, I'm kind of going after those. When I was doing junk removal, I was trying to hit up those half loads at least. So I had to have a minimum just to deter people from using me, if that makes sense. It doesn't, I'm not a scrapper. I don't do it for scrap metal. People always wanted to, oh, you'll do it for free, right? Oh, I'm not doing it for free. I have expenses, so. But the new people that are around, I think they're doing it for free. I think they're literally going around and picking up junk, illegally dumping it, and taking the scrap metal back. And that's it. I mean, I don't know. So I got out of junk removal. It's just not worth it to me. So, however, there are some people in our area that are really good at the junk removal game, and yeah, I mean, Dirty Boys. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He says I don't leave for less than $200. I work a full-time job, mostly handle flooring deliveries for LO Flooring. Okay, yeah, so that's a labor-intensive job anyway, and you don't want to be lugging a refrigerator out of someone's house for $25. I also work a full-time job. I'm a diesel mechanic at New England Kenworth. So I get it. Your time is worth some money. But that's kind of why I got out of junk removal. And I'm getting older. I didn't feel like doing it anymore. My wife and I were doing, full house cleanouts, attic to basement, 4 floors, 5, 6 loads in a 14-yard dumpster, and we could pack a dumpster. And it was just, it got old really quick. Really good money, but it got old. What I need to do is get a mini excavator and tear down sheds, because that's huge up here. All right, so what else did we do this week? Oh, somebody in one of the groups asked about shingles. Man, I wish I could find this picture, because this picture is insane. I put it on the Dumpster 101 page. I'm guessing 30 square shingles in a 14-yard, 15-yard dumpster. Man, 4 ton. And my dumpster weighs 1 ton, so 5 ton. I hope there's no DOT listening. That put me at like 23 and a half. And it is what it is. But my switch and go, I have an F550 with a switch and go. Lifted it right up there like butter. It was so easy. I'm going to see if I can put that picture up there. I'm horrible at this live stuff. Josh with American AF. Man, he's good at it. All I do is turn the camera on and hope somebody says something, hope somebody watches it. Let's see if I can shrink that down some. This is these Swap Hog dumpsters. They're made in Maine. They are amazing. I love these things. Beautiful finish. Oh, I gotta put some audio in there. I mean, look at that thing. This is our brand new one. I didn't even have this 12 hours, and this is rented out. So it's a beautiful finish, powder coated, whole 9 yards. It looks small in that picture, but it's almost, it's chest height. So, yep. So we bought that, took it right to a roofer. He's only doing, I'll go back to this picture. If you look at that, it's a huge apartment building, and in the background right there is 4 different townhouses. So they're actual townhouses. And the back side of one that you can't see, it's on the, behind this dumpster, but about a quarter of that had some damage of some sort. So this one's only getting about 10 or so square. But I did one for the same roofer the other day. I'm telling you, if it wasn't 30 square, I'm an idiot. Huge. However, this guy took a chance on me when I had a dumpster trailer with 3 bins. I think he might have been my first customer, maybe second customer. And he said, "Hey, I'm so-and-so with such and such, roofing. I'm really in a pinch. What do you have that can handle, and it was only a few square. It was like less than 10 square. He was just doing a patch job. He said, how can you help me out? And I was like, dude, I'll be there in like 15 minutes. And because of that attentiveness and me really trying to make sure I could help him out as a customer, he used me a couple more times that year. That was 2 years ago. Last year, man, he turned the faucet on. I was getting sometimes 3, 4, 5 rentals a week out of him. He pays the 3-day rental. Sometimes he only has it for, a day. Sometimes less. I'll drop it off in the morning. He'll tell me by afternoon that it's ready for pickup. So, when he's got one that's a little heavy, do what I can do. But my main goal, customer service is my goal. My goal isn't to have this huge company, all kinds of money. My main goal is customer service. So when this guy calls, I'm trying not to say no. I'm trying everything I can to not say, no, I cannot do that. Literally, the guy called up and said, hey, can I get a can on Ohio Street tomorrow morning? Small job. And I didn't have any. I literally just dropped off my last one for the weekend. And I was like, and I kind of held off. I looked. There was one available in Southern Maine to buy. And I was like, yeah, dude, of course. Yeah, absolutely. You're getting it, because customer service is what keeps bringing that guy back. And when I say that he's put 30, 40,000 in my pocket, I'm not exaggerating. It's probably more than that. So customer service is my thing. So moving on to another story, another thing I learned this week is don't overbook yourself. I tried to pull a slick one. I wasn't ripping off a customer by any stretch of the imagination. Customer had ordered a 7-day rental. Oh, excuse me. Customer had ordered a 7-day rental on a Friday, and with a pickup for Saturday, which would have been today. All the dumps are closed. If you actually count it out, 7 days is Friday. Typically, we don't include drop-off day. So my 7 days would have been, would normally be Saturday. I took off that stipulation of, we don't count the drop-off day. And I put his pickup for Friday. So Friday morning, he texted me super early. And he said, I thought I had it till Saturday. He had just rented one the week previous. So he kind of knew, like, it's not 7 days, it's actually 8 days. So he knew, he caught me. But you know what? Within a split second, I said, hey, dude, no problem at all. Dumps are closed. I figured you'd be done by Friday. My fault. How about a free 3-day rental next week? Middle of the week, Tuesday to Thursday. So you're not messing with my weekend? And he was like, yeah, absolutely. Sounds great. So I was able to pick that one up, dump it, and drop it off. So don't overbook yourself unless you can bear the consequences of that. It kind of, if it was somebody that, I wasn't trying to screw them by any means, but, if it was somebody that thought that I was trying to screw them over, ends to a bad review, whatever. But anyway, so these networking, on to the next subject. These networking groups are, they're getting big. You got Lone Star coming up in Texas in November. Joe Maxey's putting one on in Florida. What's going on in your neck of the woods? And I have nobody else in the chat, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I'm just bullshitting on a Saturday evening. But if you are, what's your region look like? Are you guys getting together? Is your state getting together? Different people in your state, different people in your region. I assume Joe Maxey's probably got a lot of people coming in from Georgia, Alabama, all those southeast states. I'm curious to see. Probably not this year, but I think the Northeast is a very different demographic up here. Different people, different, obviously different weather. So our season is a lot different, and you really have to hustle and really grind it out in the summertime, the spring, and the fall to make your money to try and get through the winter. If I get a few rentals in the wintertime, let's see, I got. You take like February, I got 12. I get 12 rentals. Is that enough to pay my bills and all of that? So I I think looking at doing some networking stuff later this year, beginning of next year for the Northeast, maybe Maine, New Hampshire, Mass, something like that. Do it centrally located down in somewhere. So it's been a crazy week. I had the 4 ton of shingles. Oh, I did have a customer call me up. She's used me twice before. She has a huge social media following for whatever reason. And anytime I have the opportunity to drop off to one of my original customers, I will 100% do that. They help me get me where I am. And, well, I take care of them. So she really takes care of me. She has a lot of social media influence in the area. So I was like, yeah, Becky, absolutely. I will get you a dumpster 15 minutes from now. Literally, I was 10 minutes from her house when she called me up and she was like, hey, what are the chances that I could get one? And I said, I can be there in about 15 minutes. And when I showed up 10 minutes later, she was pretty impressed. So, but I always take care of your good customers. It's a customer-oriented game. And, that's that. So, what kind of stuff did you guys learn in the, leave it in the live chat or drop it in the chat if you're watching this after the live, if you're watching the recording. What kind of stuff are you learning on the week to week? I'm currently learning. I'm trying to teach some lessons too. I have one transfer station that I use, and let me stop this. The whole story is I have 3 transfer stations that I can use. One is $150 a time, but it's kind of it's quite a distance to get there, maybe 20 minutes from my yard. I have one that's $213 a ton. You heard that right, $213 a ton. And I can get there in about maybe 10 minutes. Then I have one that's $187 a ton, and I can get there relatively quick, 15 minutes maybe. But it's mostly centrally located to most of my pickups. So here comes the dilemma. Do I drive the 20 extra minutes, save the $37? Hey, when I can, I do. But my plan was a little different. So what I did was I started hammering loads into that middle tier, $187 guy. I started bringing load after load after load. It started off as $200 a ton. I got them down to $187 a few months back. Well, this month I doubled down on it. Everything I had, I took to them. I brought in, no, not quite everything I had. I put about 200 ton into transfer stations this year. I showed him what his portion of that was this month, and I was like, dude, give me a break, man. Like, you can't tell me that I'm pulling in the same weight that, or you can't tell me that some of these smaller guys are pulling in the same weight that I am. How about cutting me a break? I won't do exclusive, but I will do potentially, let's say 75%. So 9 out of 10 loads or 8 out of 10 loads I'll bring to them. There are some that, I just can't do that. It doesn't make sense. 205. Okay, so Tommy, you have 205 where I am at in Southeast Mass. One is 15 minutes away. One's 25, one's 40. All within a few dollars of each other. Well, I wish I had that problem. And it sounds to me like they're price matching. They're not price matching, but they're trying to make sure that their prices are the same as everybody else. Get the best bang for the buck. I am really surprised that I have one that's 150 a ton, and it's only an extra 10 minutes away. And I'm not talking 10 minutes on the interstate doing 80 miles an hour. I'm talking it's probably a 10-mile difference. But that's the case. And unfortunately, Maine, my area, I say 25 miles. There's a chance that I'm running 40 miles out there, to get one, and that might be 40 miles in the opposite direction of that cheap transfer station. So I gotta take what I can get. All right, how long? Yeah, we've been on about a half an hour. I kind of came in a little late. All right, other big lessons of the week. Take care of your equipment. I had the F550. The it's got a 6.7 in it. The DEF light came on. I was like, nah, I'll get it. Luckily, it was only a 50 mile an hour D rate. But it put me in a D rate, 50 miles an hour. And if you're trying to get somewhere and the speed limit's 70 miles an hour and you're doing 75 or 80, 50 sucks. So take care of your equipment. Get fuel up on a daily basis. Fill up on your DEF fluid, whatever it is. My pickup, my F250 that I do still use for business, just got some new tires put on that. So yeah, just trying to take care of stuff before the winter hits. See if I'm gonna do plowing again. I don't even know. So Tommy F says the one that's 50 minutes away is roll of the dice. Sometimes in and out in 12 minutes. Sometimes an hour or two. I don't know what I would do. Josh Roman, a lot of these guys talk about the turnaround at the dumps, and you don't see them. Well, you see them using transfer stations. They don't talk a whole lot about that, but like Josh going up on the top of the trash mountain, and the lines, and this. We don't deal with that in the Northeast. There is a huge landfill north of me, say 20 minutes, half hour, maybe something like that. But they are account only. It's on top of a huge trash mountain. My full-time job is a diesel mechanic. I see them guys come in with mattress springs wrapped around drive shafts and ripping off air tanks of trucks and stuff. I'm not going up there with my truck. I respect my truck too much, so we don't go up there. We just go to the transfer station and pay a little extra. But it's fine. I don't have to pay that, and I don't have to pay that extra money in maintenance. So. Tommy, what kind of equipment are you doing? Are you doing dumpster rentals, junk removal? And if you're in Mass, southeast, I'm assuming south of Boston, what happened to Steve Conroy? Man, when I was in junk removal, I followed Steve like he was the man because he was, in New England. Gone, vanished. I don't know. So yeah, let me know where you're at in Massachusetts. That's that's right in the area of where I'm not going to host anything. I'm no Joe Maxey. I'm not a Josh Roman. But we should get some networking stuff kind of going together and see what we can get going on. I think that'd be pretty cool. All right, apparently my camera died. How does that happen when it's plugged into the wall? But that's okay because I had a backup plan. Uh, Both mostly rentals. Yeah, same thing. Hour south of Boston. Yeah, there's some people that got me into this business that I'm like, where'd they go? Jesse Mims. You've got Life's Apprentice has even been scarce. Then I've got Matt and JoJo really got me into the whole thing. I was doing some cancer treatment, and that's what I was watching during my treatment was Matt and JoJo picking up junk and hiring their employee and whatever. And I watched Steve Conroy and a bunch of them guys, dude. And they mostly kind of all disappeared. Well, I don't watch junk removal quite as much as I used to, but Steve bounced. Life's Apprentice, he's kind of bounced. He's done a little bit this year. I don't know. Run a T6500 hook lift. So it's a 26K Isuzu. Now, do you do a lot in the city? And what's the maneuverability? So the reason I'm asking is I run a 550 with a switch and go. I'm thinking about putting a swap loader hook lift on my 550, but I'm not going to lose any maneuvering capabilities. It's still the same truck. But I've been kind of looking at those. We've got a Isuzu dealer local. I don't know if snub nose, like, oh man, I could probably get into some places. We do a lot of camps and stuff. Not even necessarily camps, residents that are on lakes. So we'll call them a camp. And low hanging trees. That's why I don't have an auto tarper. Well, I have an auto tarper. I haven't installed it yet because I don't want to rip the arms off. You know what I mean? Hitting it up at a tree limb. If you look at an F550 with a great big, crazy auto tarper on there with no dumpster, you're like, man, I'm gonna snag something for sure. Yeah. Yeah, tight spaces in mine. Yeah, that's it. That's the niche right there. A buddy has a 550, and I placed his cans when his truck was down and he couldn't get in there. That's awesome. Yeah, the turning radius on an Isuzu or some of the other, Japanese or whatever trucks are amazing. And to be a 26K truck, diesel, I assume, but I'm sure it's got to be the big Isuzu. Yeah, my 550 is awesome. I love it, but I got to do the hook lift, and I have been looking at the Isuzus. So, Dirty Boy. So you picked up a 2015 Isuzu NPR box truck. Yeah, that would make an awesome dumpster truck. to put a hook lift on. Are you selling it? You're right up the road, man. I got cash. Let's go. And then the auto tarper with the up and down gantry. The problem with the F550, you have to use US tarps. They call it a low clearance or something like that, auto tarper. And it doesn't come up. It doesn't do the up and down. I talked to the guys at Down East that make the Swap Hog system, which is the same as the Switch and Go. And I was like, dude, I can just move this back. And they're like, no, you can't. Geometry and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I live in the Northeast. Like, we do a lot of stuff that don't make sense. But I could probably do it and put a better system on there. But if I'm going to swap over to a swap loader hook lift next year and swap all of my Switch and Go cans to hook lift cans, then I'm going to kind of hold off and see what makes most sense then for an auto tarper. Yeah, 8-something Duramax. I've worked on a few of those. I'm a diesel mechanic. And I don't remember. Isuzu and GM, the Duramax is kind of a mashup. I don't remember the liter size, but yeah, it's a pretty good engine. I mean, really, and Isuzu is a good truck. Well, Dirty Boys, I think we might have to talk about that. Let me go back to this chat. What's the GVWR on the Isuzu NPR box truck that you have? I would be interested because I'm not very versed on Isuzu, but I know there's an NPR and there's also a lighter or heavier version, whichever one you have. Stellar makes, yeah, they do, absolutely. That's who I'm going to go. I'm going to go either with a swap loader or Stellar, and they make just the hook part of the dumpster so that it goes right into the Switch and Go. And I have an awesome welder on speed dial. So 14.5. See, that's a little light. I'm 19.5 on my 550, and in case there's any DOT on here, I encroach the limit occasionally. Oh, 9,200 pound payload though. Yeah, because that's a lighter truck maybe. Huh. But that may not be bad as a delivery, like just to drop them. You know what I mean? So if I've got a 19.5 truck, to pick them up and take them to the dump and bring them back to the yard, and if I've got somebody in, yeah, I don't know. I have to look at that. I don't know. What do you think of that? Should we get another truck?
Do I get to drive it?
Only if you make me a drink.
Oh, shady bastard.
Yeah, that's my partner in crime right there. Yeah, I used to do these lives on Sunday. I say used to. I've only done like 2 of them. But I did the lives on Sunday to kind of recap my week. And I found that people on Sundays don't like people drinking on their lives. Dirty Boys, throw out a number. What do you want for it? Roughly. I mean, we'll talk about it, but. So Tommy F, yeah, that brings up a good point. Add the weight of the hoist, and it takes away from the payload. That is one of the reasons I went with Switch and Go, other than it was real readily available. I literally walked into the dealership and bought it. The swap loaders and the Stellars are at least 1,000 pounds. The system is at least 1,000 pounds heavier than what I currently have with the Switch and Go. With the Switch and Go, I can put 3 ton, roughly, and be legal in a can. And a can weighs a ton. So, same day, man. Okay, so the roofer had an Isuzu and bought a 6500, like same day. That's another guy that just vanished from nowhere. Is same day. Like my guys. Where'd you go, buddy? No, I'm just kidding. He puts a lot of information out there. He's more educational than entertainment. And a lot of those guys have crazy deals going on. You know, they're 20, 30, 40,000 subscribers, and they're, you know, Josh Roman is selling, he's about ready to open a dealership. And oh, is he on the gram? Really? Okay. Because I check in occasionally. I don't think he's made a video on YouTube for probably 2 months, maybe. I'm guessing. All right, so dirty. So you deliver flooring for yourself? Yeah, I saw the resetting the algorithm thing or whatever, and you know, I bought into that because I tried some stuff on my YouTube channel and it dead ended it. Like I'm stuck at 500 and something subscribers. I tried to promote it through YouTube and it screwed me up. So I understand the resetting the algorithm or whatever, but really I started this channel to, you know, oh, I'm gonna help some people out and put my story out there, like Josh Roman says. You know, I'm gonna share my story just to document it, and that's what I started doing. And then I was like, wow, you know, I'm really helping out some people, and I had the dumpster trailer, and I went from dump trailers to dumpster trailers to a truck, and you know, I figured I had something to gain or to give to the community. Now I do it for the friendships, for the networking. Daniel, the dumpster helper. I hate to throw his name out there. I hope he's not like, you know, mad at that. Hey, we chat on the phone about a few times a week. I won't say every day, maybe a couple times a day or a couple times a week or whatever or more. And that dude's killing it too. You know, not bullshitting with Josh on the phone, and some of those guys, the perspective that you take from different areas of the country. You know, we're getting New England right here. That is super important. You learn a ton of knowledge that way. But sometimes you're like, you know what? Everybody in my area has been doing it the same exact way for 100 years. There's got to be a better way. You might learn that by networking or watching or talking to a guy from Salt Lake City, you know, same day dumpsters or something like that. So that's really why I do this now. Nice. Yeah, doing anything you could do to haul. So I'm talking about Dirty Boys. He's talking about the handshake deal he had with a company that holds his contract. You know, junk removal. Some people get into moving. Some people do, you know, other things. This flooring thing sounds pretty awesome. 40 grand a year. Yeah, and Tommy, you know, John Cook he's a great dude. I don't agree with everything he says. I don't think you have to have a hook lift. I think you have to put yourself out there. You've got to do what you can do to do what you can do. Whether that's dumpster trailers, whether that's dump trailers, or whatever. There's no hard, set, fast rule on how to get into this business and how to succeed. There's guys that I see in the Facebook groups all the time that are like, hey, I've got 50. I think a guy said the other day he's got 50 or 30 or something like that. Dump trailers. That's all he does. That dude doesn't need a hook lift. He's got it figured out. He's got more dump trailers than I got dumpsters. So, Yeah, I'm kind of rambling now, aren't I? He does drop a lot of good nuggets. The only thing I don't, and I don't want to be critical of another YouTuber, and he is way more successful than I will ever be at YouTube. He doesn't come across as authentic, and I don't see him struggling with I've been at the point where it's like, okay, I can only put $40 worth of fuel in right now because I need to tip this at the transfer station. That's going to cost me God only knows what, but I'll catch up. I don't see him with that struggle, and it. But yeah, I mean, it shows you where you can go. I guess that's just not where I am. Some of his ideas would shut us down out here. Absolutely. I mean, he's like, I'm the concrete guy, and I'm like, fuck concrete. You can keep it. The heaviest thing I take is shingles, and I hate doing that. And he's like, oh, I gotta put cones, I gotta wear reflective shit and whatever, and I think that's just all show. You know what I mean? It's all right. See, this is the kind of conversation I like. This is Brewer and a bunch of numbers. Hey, appreciate your videos. I'm looking to start a business, dumpster trash pickup. It's on the short list. So I'm going to tell you, this niche. So when I say this, junk removal and dumpster rentals kind of all flow in together. Trash is supposedly recession proof, and I find that to be true. I think it's going to be a little harder. Some people are going to go out of business, but if you can stick with it, I think that it's recession proof. Junk removal, maybe. Dumpster rentals, well, that's a little bit better than junk removal. In a good economy, you have people that are like, hey, I want to get rid of this crap in my garage. I'm going to call somebody to come do it for me. When times get tight, hey, I got this junk in my garage. I'm not going to call somebody to do it for me because I can't afford to pay them. So I'm going to get a dumpster, and I'm going to do it myself. So I'm going to save money by doing a dumpster. So that's the first part of frugalness in this industry. The second part is, fuck the garage. It can stay there until I have a job, because now I'm unemployed or whatever. So it's not completely recession proof, but you have to really be able to conform to its ebbs and flows. So if junk removal is huge this year because people got tons of money, hey, great. Make your extra money loading up your own dumpster. Once people start getting a little cheap, okay, offer junk removal. If you want to save a little bit of money, I can rent you a dumpster. And a lot of times they'll jump on that and do it themselves. Saves you the labor and all of that. So, and you're going to move to New Hampshire. Okay. Now, what are you thinking? Okay, Tom, I'm going to get to that in a second. That is a huge thing that we disagree on. I say the Northeast disagrees with some of the rest of the country on the weight. So Brewer, what are you gonna really focus on? Or what kind of equipment do you have? Dump trailer, just a pickup. I mean, Matt and JoJo started in a pickup, so you can definitely do junk removal on a pickup. So Tommy F says, but like not including weight, we pay 1 ton no matter what. You got to include at least 1 ton. Okay. In Massachusetts, you pay 1 ton minimum. That's what I'm assuming. I've heard that before. Up here, we don't have a minimum, but I include 1 ton because most of my competitors do, right? So what happens with the 1 ton? I'm just going to throw some really quick numbers out there. I rent a 3-day for $450. It includes 1 ton of weight. Most people don't hit 0.7 tons. So guess what? That's just more profit for me. And I'm I'm assuming some of that rest. So if they do hit a ton, and I know it's heavy, I could take it to my cheap transfer station. It's only going to cost me $150. So now I'm still putting $300 in my pocket, not including fuel. So it's a game to, it's not a game, but it's kind of a game to figure out your best pricing and also get probably, get some of your best profit by including the 1 ton. So 1 ton, a minimum, no matter what you have. See, I couldn't even do it. Now, how often do you, that would lead me to think, man, I'm going to take this light dumpster, I'm going to bring it back to the yard, and I'm going to add to it, or add that to another one. Steve Conroy used to do that. Maybe that's why he did it, is because he had a 1 ton minimum. Do you try and combine them? Then how do you deal with overages? I don't know. My weight tickets in Docket, it shows when I pick up from the customer, and it shows when I drop it at the transfer station. If I'm in a town that's 10 minutes from the transfer station, that receipt better be 10, 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Because I've had to actually fight that this week on a guy that said, I can't believe it was 1.53 tons. And I'm like, well, dude, it rained and you had mattresses. What do you expect? And he kind of didn't believe it. And I showed him in Docket, I picked up on such and such a time. I think it was 20 minutes, 15 minutes later, I'm dropping at the transfer station. So, oh, is that illegal to do? Oh, because that would mean you're kind of like your own transfer station. I'm assuming that's why it's illegal. You can't transfer from one to another. Yeah. That's what we did with junk removal. You pick up a half a load, you go somewhere else and pick up another half load or a washer or, whatever, and then you're just paying the 1 dump fee on that. Oh, that makes sense. You can add to it, but you can't take anything out of it from one to another. It's crazy how the laws are so different. It's like the Northeast is so, I don't want to get political at all, but it's so weird. It's like super liberal. They want to come up with, save the earth type of laws and stuff, and it's great. Don't get me wrong at all. I would rather have some rules that control that stuff other than people illegally dumping in the woods. But, man, there's some crazy stuff. I had the city of Bangor, our major city around here, send me a letter that said, we've noticed that you have been, and it was good because they noticed that I've been working in their city. And they don't have a franchise or anything. However, they have a contract with the municipal waste plant that's here. That's called the Merck plant. They burn municipal waste to make energy or whatever, and they have a contract with them. And if I want to avoid a $5,000 fine from the city, I don't live in, I need to send them $100 and something, register, blah blah blah, as a registered hauler. And I looked at their paperwork. So their paperwork said the things that are not allowed at the Merck plant: construction debris, shingles, mattresses, household clean out stuff. It's only municipal waste, food waste, kitchen waste. My contract, one of the very first things it says on it is, I don't accept municipal waste. Guess what? I still had to pay $100 and something. I do not accept municipal waste. I will not go to the Merck plant. I just don't. I can't. There's too many stipulations of this can go there, that can't, whatever, and I don't want to, I'm not sifting through somebody's dumpster. So, yeah, it's crazy. So you can't add to it. So many weird laws. Now, I assume that that's a law that protects the consumer, your customer, from getting, I don't know, raped by overweight charges or whatever. Yeah, our major city nearby makes us pull a permit for each rental, but it's a pain in the ass process. Takes like a week. You got to get 4 different department signatures and then meet a guy to drop it. Jeez. Like, why are they going to make it so hard? And then, so what do? Do you push that permitting? You know, if somebody calls up and says, you know, I want to rent a dumpster, do you tell them, okay, go see this guy, get a permit, and I will drop you a dumpster once you have proof of the permit? Or do you have to get the permit? So if you guys have met my wife, Jessica, on some of our older videos, I'm going to have her sit here for a moment and talk to you about what she loves about the dumpster company and about the dumpster business and about junk removal.
Oh, jeez. And knock over your lights. Hi.
Let me catch up here. Owner has to do a permit for a dumpster. We have people call same day, so people can't do that there. That's ridiculous. Okay. I really don't know what to say. What I like about the dumpster business is it bought me lasers, so I can do crafting. I just sit as a passenger princess. I don't do anything special. But it has been a fun ride so far. Oh, he's back. See, you didn't have to deal with me that long.
Did you tell them all about what you love about hauling stuff out of people's attics?
Yeah, because it bought me a laser.
Oh, so yeah, now we're into lasering. Permit costs $40. Business owner has to do it. Is the turnaround cheap? I mean, is the turnaround quick to get the permit?
What has he got?
So he's got laser 2 HL 1060 100 watt CO2. Okay, we got an 80 watt. You must have told him that.
Oh, I hadn't got into the specifics. Got an X tool too.
Yeah, dirty boy. I'm gonna tell you why. So we had a junk removal guy. The only person I would probably still do junk removal for was this dude who lived in Orono, big college campus town, and his family had lived in this house for, I don't know, let's say 150 years, whatever it was. And his parents had passed away. His mom was an antiques collector. This dude was like pretty loaded, and he met somebody and married her. Anyway, so he's cleaning out his house. And I'm telling you, we did 4 floors and a garage. Never got the coolest shit ever. That was awesome. He calls us up a couple months later and he said, hey, I have a storage unit that I've had some stuff in that, you know what? Come get it. And I was like, all right, man, you know, $450 a load. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. When I tell you, it was the best office furniture. Like, my office is decked out with this huge desk, these big fancy freaking chairs, and all of it come from that storage unit, and he paid us $450 to haul it off. So I absolutely love the junk removal part. When you're like, I love the ones that are, oh, you know, I'm going to throw all these books away, and you're like, okay, I am hoping, I'm playing the lottery, somebody hid some cash in one of those books. And I'm like, every single book. It's never happened yet. I've never found any cash, but yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. My daughter loves it because she's a huge book reader. She's an academic. She loves the books, so. But yeah, this Saturday, I like Saturday lives are working out better than Sunday. I was doing them on Sunday at like 8:30, and I don't know why. I just picked Sunday. I can't do them like Josh Roman and oh yeah. So speaking of Daniel, so Daniel and I are gonna. He had asked me to come on to his live the other night, and I hope that you guys watched Daniel the Dumpster Helper. Great dude. He's got a lot of really good ideas that are not mainstream, and do you plan on going? So there's a little thing covering Brewer. So I got. Do you plan on going? I assume full time in dumpster rentals. I am essentially full time already, and absolutely, yeah, I'm definitely doing full time. The only reason I have a night job, full time night job, is just security. Just in my own mind, I'm like, oh, I need it, you know. But yeah, so Daniel and I are gonna do. He wants to bring me on to one of his live streams. I think he does his Tuesdays, and he does a great live show, way better than I am. He doesn't have dogs barking and whatever, but I didn't feel like doing one during the week. I thought there might have been some of us sitting around on the weekends, so that's cool. And it's just bullshitting. So, Tommy, do you watch the Clack Shack? If you're into lasering, you must watch the Clack Shack. Or Venturi. There's a reason I'm asking that.
Yeah, but that's
I hope
not
you're still
fair.
on. Oh, you're not even. Oh, nobody's left on here.
Oh,
But yeah, Brewer, I 100% plan on going full time. I could easily swing it now financially. I am just a little bit. I mean, you're from Massachusetts, you understand. The winter is a nerve-wracking thing to us. This past winter, this past winter was my big game plan was to get into snowplow, and we had 4 snowstorms in Maine that were plowable. My estimation, my plan, it all went to crap. And dumpsters, I mean, we did a few. We did, a couple dozen or whatever, but it's not sustainable. So you don't know what's going to happen. And it kind of makes you a little bit nervous. To go full time, not have a big bankroll. And I'm retired military. I have income coming in, and I'm still nervous. I'm very nervous about giving up that employee role, I guess. So Tommy, yeah, Daniel and I are thinking about doing the Clack Shack. He's a laser engraver guy. Him and his buddy Venturi across the country. They do it live every Sunday, and we're kind of thinking about getting together and collaborating, me and Daniel, to see, could we, put something together. So you got heavy into portraits. Do you do portraits on painted canvas? That's kicking my ass. I could do a portrait on a piece of wood. I could do tons of awesome laser engraving on all kinds of awesome stuff. You put some paint on a piece of canvas, and I can't. People can make it look like awesome. I can't. So I don't know. I'm not getting the grays. It'll just be either black or white. I'm not getting the shades and the grays and the whites. So. And we have we have a YouTube channel for our laser engraving too. It has 4 subscribers. Me, my wife.
My mom.
We have a lot of family, so we don't know which the other 2 are, but the rest of them are screwing us. So
We don't do any videos for that channel either.
yeah, we don't do any videos. Like we did some. We have 3 channels. My main channel is Up North Knowledge, and we talk about all kinds of stuff, working on the house, living in the north, whatever. It's really a good channel. I did some cooking videos, and the wife did some cooking videos on that one, and we started to do a little bit of laser engraving stuff, and we were like, you know what, we're gonna open a laser engraving business. So we do rustic timber design, and we decided, hey, let's flip this from a cooking channel into laser engraving. So I don't know, it really hasn't taken off. We haven't done much, but the YouTube is fun. It's awesome. So yeah, Up North Knowledge, that's my other channel. That's the one that we actually have some subscribers, not 1,000, but yeah, it works out good. Yeah, granite, wood, and acrylic laser engraving. So we've done 2 commissioned pieces that were portraits, and they were tough. They were kind of tough. One of them was a couple of dogs, and dogs typically have a lot of different colors all throughout their coat, and the way that the light burn and everything interprets that is not exactly what you would expect at all. So it took a lot of guesswork, but they came out nice. We do a lot of. I'm into leather patch hats right now. We did a craft fair. It was a night market, they called it. Oh, man, I almost sold all my dumpsters just to get into crafting and making hats. That was a pretty good time. So, but there's a niche. I mean, you have to find whatever the Hawk Tuah saying is of the week. Jump on that frickin' wave and ride it as long as you can. And then when people go against the Hawk Tuah, you gotta jump on that wave too. So it's kind of rough. And now we're looking at buying 3D printer to do some other stuff. So yeah, we kind of get into all of it. But dumpsters is our main thing. Diesel mechanic, that's my night job. So, Dirty Boys, what do you you got in the junk removal business because of the hunt, the little things that you come across. Now, when we were doing junk removal, we were relatively busy. We kind of had a rule that unless it was extremely a good deal or nice or whatever, like we wouldn't necessarily take it for ourselves. We did try to donate a couple of times. We had a friend that sold stuff at an antique market. Do you get into that? Do you sort things out? Do you sort out the metal? Are you looking at the stuff that might be valuable to somebody and maybe selling that to them at wholesale? What's that kind of look like? Yeah, Tommy, that's exactly. I wish I knew how to do this live thing a little better. That's actually what I'm looking at. It's the oh god.
1P1 or
Yeah,
something.
1P1 or something like that. And that looks exceptional. I mean, for what we want to do, and what we want to do with it is print dumpsters, little dumpsters, right? How cool would that be? So the wife came up and she was like, "Hey, I get these little dumpsters that are desk organizers." And I said, another thing we could do with it, because that's how our conversations go, is we could do the silhouette of a dumpster with our name, our logo, and all that stuff, vinyled in there because she has a vinyl cutter, and we could do fridge magnets for dumpster rentals. So that's kind of where we went with that. Or that's where we started with that, and then she wants to make dumpster desk organizers, and I was like, well, I'm a diesel mechanic, so I'm going to make toolbox organizers, and I'm going to market those on the internet, and I'm going to make $1 million. So, yeah, those bamboo. The one we're looking at is what's the Shop Nation guy? What was that guy's name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, so he reviewed a couple of them, and it was pretty awesome. Yeah, Dirty Boy. See, that's the key. I mean, if you have, so he says, I'm a bit of a hoarder. I do resell on Facebook. I have a cast iron guy, but I try to sell the majority of stuff I would send to the dump. And to me, that is, some people are like, I can't believe you're selling my stuff. Well, why do you want your stuff to end up in a landfill, right? So environmentally friendly, let's find somebody that has the time, the space, the resources to recycle, or find somebody that wants it. I don't have, and I kind of have some rules. I'm not going to bring a bunch of stuff back to my house, and I don't have big enough shed or barn or whatever to put stuff in to kind of wait for it to sell. So we will sell small things, but we try to, we'll load up a dumpster, junk removal, we'll take it to an antique dealer, and we're like, hey, dig through it, anything you want you can have. We don't even sell it to them, they can just have it so that it doesn't end up in the dump. But it's hard if you don't have warehouse space, and I mean, how much time are you spending on Facebook putting that stuff on there? It's, as long as you're making some money, that's good, but I kind of didn't have that time. So, and steel prices, people think that you'll pick up steel for free because you're going to make $1 million taking in some mixed freaking steel to the junkyard. Well, if that was the case, why didn't they do it? So I don't pick up nothing for free. Even if I could resell it, I don't care. You're paying the price. Unless you want to rent a dumpster and put it in there yourself. But that's kind of just the way I am. I get a little bit cynical with junk removal. Just people wanting, we did a house that, or I say a house, we did an apartment. And the guy said, yeah, the woman died, and her husband kind of took, or her son kind of moved in, trash place, whatever, I just need it cleaned out. And I gave him our per load price. And I saw we found some bed bug bombs or whatever. We don't have bed bugs necessarily in the Northeast as bad as some other places have it. He said, oh yeah, there's no bed bugs or anything. Okay, so why do they have 16 bed bug remedies underneath the sink? And this place is trashed. I was using a garden rake, like a leaf rake, to rake the living room fucking carpet. It was so horrible. But yeah, so I don't know. Sorting on the job, yeah, that's the way to do it. Where's the Dexter landfill? And are they open to the public? And yeah, you're right. It is more time consuming, and when we first started junk removal and all we had was a dump trailer, it was great. We'd just bring it back. Put this. We'd sort it as best we could without the customer really kind of knowing that. We just didn't want the confrontation of, what are you going to sell my stuff? We'd put some stuff on the end of the trailer, and we would definitely, drop it off here. And I would check it to see if it was worth anything. If not, we would just, throw it back in and take it to the dump. But yeah, we would definitely source some things out. And if people, there's up in one of our towns by the college town, there's a what do you call it? Like people that help people homeless people get set up in homes or whatever. Not paying for it, but if they need some furniture and whatever, it's a little charity. If we find some good furniture, we usually give it to them. So. All right, I'm gonna check out this Dexter because I do a lot in, like down that area, Corinna, Dexter, and it's hard because, you'll go to a transfer station, and it's not a public one. It's a town transfer station like Winterport has DM&J Waste, and they have Winterport transfer station actually almost on the same piece of property. And I can go to one, I can't go to the other. Even if I pick up somebody's stuff in Winterport. If it's not the homeowner, they won't do it. So I go to Brewer, North Star Waste. I go to Winterport, DM&J Waste, or I go to Herman, which is Casella's, which is the big guys. They suck. $213 a ton. I pay the same as some Karen bringing in a mattress or whatever. I don't even get it. I bring them hundreds of tons. Okay, a couple hundred tons. But, well, we're pushing up on an hour and a half. If you guys haven't done it, just throw a like on this video. It helps the algorithm, apparently. So I don't have to do what John Cook did and reset my algorithm. Somebody said something about him earlier, too. Oh, he's the concrete guy I like. Yeah. Where was that? That's one I love. I'm the concrete guy. Yeah. Good dude, but some of these YouTube people just have like such an agenda. Like Casey, roll the intro. There's probably no Casey. It's a recorded video. He just ran his own intro. I don't know. It is what it is. Hey, I think I'm going to do this again next Saturday. Saturday seems to be a lot better than Sundays, so this was a good time. It's good to meet a few people up here in the north. So winter's coming. I hate to sound like a Game of Thrones or whatever, but winter's coming. And they say we're supposed to have the coldest fall in 15 years. We'll see. We'll see. I got to get I got to shoot my commercial for the fall season. I always do one of those, oh my God, winter's coming. And it really drums up a lot of business. So I got to figure out something to do this year. But oh, it is a transfer station. Okay. Oh, you got to go to the town office to get a permit. I don't know, man. Yeah, $5 though. That's pretty good. But all right, so maybe we'll catch you guys again next Saturday. Thanks for watching. Like I said, do a thumbs up if you haven't subscribed. I'm sure you subscribed. I got like 3 people watching this, so I hope it's 3 of my subscribers. All right, we'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching.